So on PMC, as you count money, um, on PMC, as you count money, you see more of 9.59.18, which is more than $1, more than $10, more than $20, more than 22 $10. That's pretty much where you're looking at the whole price amount as a wholesale economy rate. So it's pretty much working on the versus 4 week extension of how to drive a rental car at the time. So it's pretty much where you're working on a 9.59.18 bill reference for 14 weeks, and being able to know more about 14 weeks of a compact car is pretty much what we're working with. How to work with the statistics of dimensioning the size of the car and selling the time of the ratio of the car. So it's just pretty much working with 95 hours of existence, and being able to know more about economics of social studies, and knowing what the car is prominently used for at the time. So just pretty much using more liability, more structure, more enhanced detail to promote more for the cost exchange of $959.18 showing up at least 3 times on the payroll sheet, and being able to know more about LAT's programs is pretty much what it goes to promote more for the natural nature that adapts to that types of environment. Knowing more about the urban, the newer urban development plans that go on in the urban centuries. So that's just pretty much something that enterprise has been a part of since at least the early 1900s. So it's pretty much as we get to 2057 and 2088, we get more started with knowing more about Arizona, SoCal, Oklahoma, North Dakota, Idaho, Nebraska, Colorado, Kansas, Ohio, New Hampshire, Boston, Rhode Island. You learn more about the states that you know of, and it's pretty much as you learn more about urban world geography, and macroeconomics, as you share that 959.18 status majority of the time. So other than that, we are working with laws of factors. A 951 is much better than a 351, which is particularly something that's unavailable at the time that come into state facilitated airports at the time. Stuff like that. Is pretty much where you're using a bigger ratio of recommendations to make more of a prominent proposition, and being able to use ratios of higher math to promote that type of detail for the file and profiles and forms that produce those types of confidential recommendations, as though they can be accelerated within 1 hour to 9 hours at the time. So that's pretty much good on that behalf, as you work on a positive habit to promote that positive annuity that you want to show, and being able to know more about the descriptive language of what that describes at the time. So it's pretty much where you're working on Chronicles of Narnia, Polar Express description language, and being able to know more about what the book's about, from different points of technology wise subscriptions at the time. So it's using a certain repost or a certain review on Vivo or Spotify, on Vine. You're using one of those subscriptions to promote more for your categories at the time. So it's pretty much where you're looking at more of a review for those types of details. Other than that, we are talking about states at the time, whether it's 951 state or 351 state. You're looking at the state versus state, state versus state. And frequently we learn that common attributes go to bigger states more majority of the time. In 2022, we know that bigger states get majority of the bigger incline as you get more impassioned with the urban day state of 1995 to 2039 to 2059. And it's pretty much as you get more individually impassioned with Alamo and Rosewood, Zaragoza, and even with common areas of the state, just like that. As you follow your 1959 traditions and trademarks at the time, so just pretty much just staying true to your native atmospheres, and being able to recompromise new frequencies as far as knowing the Weather Channel and knowing the predictions of the day, knowing the whole benefactor of that type of detail. So other than that, you are talking about groups of 959 being spent, whether it's ecourb promoting the currency exchange. This is already ecourb 747. This is just one of 7,559 different accounts that we add, whether it's 10s, 20s, 50s, or 100s. This is at least 1259 of those types of details. So, it's pretty much as you earn a big bonus benefit and, add more of a 9 plus 7 plus 4 plus 9 to the detail, and, being able to know more about the standard terms that evaluate those types of midpoints is pretty much where you get that whole detail authorized at. So, just being able to look more into T-Mobile networks of Comcast grid atmospheres and knowing more about the composition that goes within CNN to so all in all, you just looking at networks that you can comply with that send circuits and routes to the formulas that recycle the currency and give you a bigger deposition of how to platform your day. It's pretty much using 98,885 different experience points to redecorate different specifications of the trademark. So it's pretty much we're using a described specification 959 times to promote more of a positive acknowledgement, after you get more towards $259 of promoted detail. So, it's pretty much as you start that detail and, you get more embedded with that type of shinono, you're looking at many different rates. How much is your $259 worth? How much is your $859 worth? How much is your $359 worth? How much is your $650 worth? How much is your $869 worth? You're working with that type of detail or portion at the time. So, with that, you're looking at ounces, particularly, for that amount. So, with that, you're at least working with 21 ounces of a pack or a pound or a portion at the time. So, that's pretty much where you're working that detail on ecourb measurements and portions. Bacon and work. And this is at least about 989% that you see moving around like that. So, that's at least 400 that you see after you see more of two $10 bill worth of net worth instead of two $2. So, it's just basically accounting, working on accounting at the time, and, being able to use different formations of banking increases, which is what ecourb does to promote more for revenue tax. So it can have something towards having something for the higher amount, so it can pay the lower wholesale amount, and be able to get its 95.49 for that week, and understanding more about a more civilized payment